Welcome students. Today we are going to throw light on Mendelism. First of all, we will discuss the life of Mendel. Gregor Johann Mendel was born in 1822 to a family of poor farmers. His education was seriously hampered by poverty. In order to continue his studies, he entered the Augustinian monastery, a religious place of St. Thomas at Brunn, Austria, and was ordained a priest in 1847. After spending few years in monastery, he was sent to the University of Vienna in 1851, where he studied physics, mathematics, and natural science for 2 years. Although his performance in the university was not outstanding, but his training provided him with many technical and mathematical skills that were of the value in performing his later experiments. Mendel joined the monastery back in 1853 and worked as a teacher of physics and natural history there. From 1857, Mendel started his famous experiments on peas in the monastery garden. At the University of Vienna, Mendel was influenced by two scientists, Franz Unger, a plant physiologist, and Christian Doppler, a physicist who discovered Doppler effect. Mendel learned the Coleridge's and Gärtner hybridization experiment and became interested in hybridization. He conducted breeding experiments on garden pea. Before Mendel, other scientists like Knight and Gauss have done hybridization experiments on pea. Mendel presented his experimental results on pea in a paper entitled Experiments in Plant Hybridization. This paper was published in 1866 in Annual Proceedings of the Natural History Society of Brunn and was distributed to libraries in Europe and America in 1866. This paper was though prepared as a lecture rather than as a research publication, contained Mendel's hypothesis concerning the mechanism of inheritance. Mendel's discovery remained hidden until 1900, when the law of segregation was rediscovered almost simultaneously by three different investigators who had obtained results like Mendel. Now, pre-Mendelian scientists. Before Mendel, a German botanist, J. Coleridge, performed hybridization experiments in tobacco and compared the hybrids with their parents and demonstrated that the hybrids may resemble one or the other parent or may be intermediate between them. Coleridge used tall and dwarf varieties of tobacco for hybridization and found that all first generation hybrids had intermediate size. These hybrids in the next generation gave plants varying in size from tall to the dwarf parents. Coleridge could not explain these results. The other workers like Gärtner, Norden, and Darwin also discovered, like Coleridge, that reciprocal crosses gave similar results. However, these workers could not give a numerical treatment to their results as Mendel did in 1866, and therefore could not understand the mechanism of inheritance. Mendel was the first who gave the principles or laws of heredity without any ambiguity. Now, failure of Mendel's predecessors. In his 1865 paper, Mendel presented a brilliant analysis of the deficiencies in the experimental approaches of his predecessors. The choice of material and the experimental procedure were the main reason for their failure, and these are summarized here. Number 1, the scientists studied the plant as a whole, that is, its total appearance consisting of a large number of characters. As a result, the plants could not be classified into few clear-cut classes. These workers did not attempt an exhaustive classification of the different forms of the characters present in the progeny. Number 2, the scientists were more concerned with the description of the various forms appearing in F1 and F2 progeny. An attempt to determine the frequencies of different character forms in the progeny was not made. Number 3, in many cases, the data from different generations were not kept accurately and separately. Number 4, in many cases, a complete control of pollination in the F1 was lacking. There were chances of cross-pollination, which would tend to confuse the results from F2 generation. Number 5, in many studies, the F1 was an interspecific hybrid exhibiting partial to considerable sterility. This would interfere with the recovery of all the forms of different characters and would disturb the ratio of various characters forms in F2. Number 6, the number of plants studied in F2 was relatively small. The results obtained from a small number of plants are likely to be inconclusive. Number 7, most of the characters studied by the earlier workers were quantitative in nature. The inheritance of such character could be understood only in 1909. Now, we will discuss reasons for unnoticed results of Mendel and rediscovery of Mendelian principles. The main reasons of Mendel's work remain unnoticed by the world are: Number 1, he published his findings in annual proceedings of Natural History Society of Bern, which was having limited circulation at that time. Number 2, the phenomenon of fertilization and the behavior of chromosomes during cell division were not known at the time when Mendel presented his findings. Clearly, Mendel was much ahead of his time to be understood and appreciated. Number 3, he was not sure of his own results, which he got from P, as he failed to get the same results from hawkweed. Number 4, Mendel did not publicize his findings through further writings on the subject after his initial paper. Number 5, his mathematical calculations for biological problems was very much strange for the then scientists. Number 6, Darwin's theory of evolution was hot topic at that time, and the then biologists were busy with the Darwin's theory. Number 7, Mendel corresponded extensively with his contemporary, the noted botanist Nageli. Mendel described his failure to verify his conclusions in hawkweed and other plants. This may have created a doubt about the applicability of Mendel's conclusion to plants other than pea and rajma. Mendel's work was not noticed until 1900 when three scientists, Hogg de Vries in Holland, Karl Correns in Germany, and Erich von Teschemark in Austria, independently conducted experiments and found results similar to Mendel's forgotten paper. Immediately, his conclusions began to be confirmed and extended. Experiments carried on in various parts of the world on many kinds of animals and plants. William Bateson conducted experiments on fowl and came to the conclusion that animals also follow the Mendelian principles. Now, which experimental plant Mendel chose and why? Mendel chose garden pea because pea offered several obvious advantages as an experimental material, of which Mendel was well aware. The advantages are: number 1, in the pea varieties available commercially, several characters had two contrasting forms which were easily distinguished from each other. For example, some varieties are tall and others are short. Some have round seeds and some have wrinkled seeds. The two seed forms, round and wrinkled, were easily distinguishable from each other, and there could be no ambiguity in the classification of seeds into a round and wrinkled category. Mendel noted 7 pairs of such contrasting traits. The traits, which always appear in two opposing conditions, one dominant and other recessive, are called the contrasting traits. Number 2, flower structure of pea ensured self-pollination. This was experimentally verified by Mendel. This greatly facilitated the production of F2 and F3 progeny, as well as it avoided contamination by foreign pollens. Number 3, pea flowers are relatively large. Therefore, emasculation and pollination of pea flowers is quite easy, which allows easy artificial hybridization in pea. Number 4, the duration of pea crop is of a single season. As a result, every year one generation of pea can be grown. Number 5, pea seeds are large and present no problem in germination. Number 6, pea plants are relatively easy to grow and each plant occupies only one small space. This permits a large number of pea plants to be grown in a relatively small area. In addition to pea, Mendel worked on rajma, Phaceolus vulgaris, as well. The results from experiments on rajma were reported along with those on pea in the same manner. Now, let us discuss Mendel's experimental technique. Mendel performed his experiments in 3 steps. Number 1, the selection of plants. Number 2, hybridization. And number 3, self-pollination of hybrids. We will discuss them one by one. Number 1, the selection of plants. The traits of 7 characters were confirmed for true breeding, that is, the characters passed from parent to the offspring. Mendel self-selected the seeds from pea plants having different traits. The plants raised from these seeds that are single character has been handed over by parents to offspring. Seeds from round-seeded plant produced plants with round seeds, and seeds from green-podded plant produced plants with green pods. Mendel called each of these a pure trait. Number 2, hybridization. Hybridization means crossing of 2 varieties of plants. Mendel used pure breeding plants in hybridization experiments. He crossed pure plants having contrasting traits of the characters, for example, round seed and wrinkled seed for seed shape. Pollens of a wrinkled seed flower were dusted on stigma of round seed flower. The seeds formed by crossing the plants were collected and plants raised for next year. The result was the production of hybrid plants that were called first generation and was named as first filial generation, F1 generation. Number 3. Self-pollination of hybrids. Self-pollination was conducted in hybrid plants that were raised in F1 generation. After self-pollination, the seeds were collected and raised. They produced the plants named as second filial generation, F2 generation. When F2 plants were self-pollinated, they produced third filial generation, F3 generation, and so on. What was the reasons for Mendel's success? The following factors are responsible for Mendel's success. Number 1. The most important factor was his ability for an accurate and clear-cut analysis of the reasons for failure of earlier workers. Number 2. At first, Mendel studied the inheritance of only one pair of contrasting characters at a time. Only after he had formulated the law governing the inheritance of single pairs of contrasting characters, he tried to analyze the inheritance of 2 and 3 character pair. Number 3. Mendel selected pea varieties that had clearly different forms of one or more characters. The difference between the two forms of a pair of contrasting characters was so large and clear-cut that the individuals of a population could be easily and accurately classified as having one or the other contrasting character. Number 4. Mendel classified all the plants of a population on the basis of the contrasting characters under study. He kept an accurate record of the numbers of plants in each category for every generation. Number 5. Mendel carried out his experiments with great care and elaborateness. Number 6. His knowledge of mathematics was a definite asset for the interpretation of his findings. Number 7. Mendel was able to formulate appropriate hypotheses on the basis of the explanation he offered for his experimental findings. Further, he proceeded to test these hypotheses experimentally to prove the correctness of his explanations. But in the final analysis, Mendel was undoubtedly lucky because number 1. The 7 characters selected by Mendel showed qualitative inheritance. Not a single trait was inherited quantitatively. Number 2. The contrasting forms of each of the 7 characters were governed by a single gene. Number 3. Further, in each case, one form was completely dominant over the other. Number 4. Of the 7 characters studied by Mendel, the genes for 2 were located in one chromosome, while 3 others were present in another chromosome. But out of these, only 2 were close enough to distort the dihybrid ratio of 9:3:3:1. Luckily, Mendel did not study this character pair. Now, we will discuss highlights of Mendel's paper. The main highlights of the paper presented by Mendel are: number 1. Mendel concluded a complete fusion of male and female gametes and equal contribution of the 2 parents to development of characters of the hybrid F1. Number 2. He postulated the existence of factors now known as genes, which are responsible for the development of various characters. It is these factors that are transmitted from one generation to next and not the characters themselves. Number 3. He made a clear distinction between the appearance, that is phenotype, and the genetic makeup, that is genotype. Number 4. He gave the formula for determining the numbers of, first, different types of gametes produced by F1, second, different genotypes in F2, third, homozygous genotypes, and fourth, individuals in the perfect F2 for segregation of n number of genes. Number 5. He elaborated the effect of continued selfing on homozygosity for a single allelic pair. Incidentally, this is the same as the homozygosity for any number of allelic pairs. Number 6. Mendel introduced the concept of dominance and recessiveness. Number 7. Mendel elucidated the laws of segregation and independent assortment. Number 8. He confirmed his own findings in P with those in Rajma. He studied the inheritance of pod color, pod shape, and plant height. Number 9. Mendel noted the appearance of many new non-parental flowers color in Rajma. He suggested that flower color in Rajma may be a complex character that is governed by several genes inherited according to the same laws of inheritance. Number 10. Mendel stated that his explanations were based on two important assumptions. First, equal proportion of the different gametes produced by F1, and second, equal chance for each gamete thus produced to effect fertilization. Number 11. He studied the F2 from an interspecific hybrid in Phaseolus and obtained deviation from the 3:1 ratio. He explained this to be mainly due to high sterility of the F1 hybrid and the small number of progeny in F2. He suggested that the inheritance in such crosses also followed the same laws. Number 12. He also attempted to explain the permanent hybrids of some plant species, for example, Hericium. Unfortunately, Mendel had no way to know that these species are apomictic and present a peculiar pattern of inheritance. Now, we will throw light on laws of Mendel. All the findings led Mendel to propose two important laws. Number 1, principle of segregation. Number 2, principle of independent assortment. Now, we will discuss them one by one. Number 1, principle of segregation. According to Mendel, the F1 generation showed dominant phenotype and the recessive phenotype appears in F2 generation. This suggests that there is no blending of Mendelian factors in F1, but that they stay together and only one is expressed. During gamete formation, these two factors separate or segregate. Otherwise, recessive type will not appear in F2. Formation of gametes is always pure for a particular character. A gamete will possess only one factor, either dominant or recessive. This is the reason that this law is also called as law of purity of gametes. This law is also called as Mendel's first law or principle. Number 2, principle of independent assortment. The law of independent assortment states that different characters governed by different genes passes independently of one another from parents to offspring. For example, in dihybrid cross, two pairs of characters are used, namely the seed shape and seed color. The plants with yellow and round seeds were crossed with those having green and wrinkled seeds. The cross results the generation of F1 offspring with yellow and round seeds. After the growth of F1 plants, F2 seeds were obtained with all the four possible combinations. Number 1, yellow and round seeds. Number 2, yellow and wrinkled seeds. Number 3, green and round seeds. Number 4, green and wrinkled seeds. And the ratio is 9:3:3:1. Mendel concluded that if one character is fixed, the other character exhibits a clear 3:1 ratio. Therefore, the two characters under consideration is assorting or giving rise to different combinations in an independent manner. The independent assortment holds good for two or more than two pairs of characters. Dear students, this is all about Mendelism. Thank you very much.